up, and this is a quicker sort of segment, just to kind of talk about the numbers about Trump, and I'm gonna rewind it and show just the numbers and less of the video. But yeah, what's up, wrong? Why I wanted to talk about this is that there's a real fear, Nick.
Feel free to join if you're available, Rome. If you're available, no pressure. But if you're available, feel free. But go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, there's a real fear because not only like there's several dynamics that's happening that's creating a I would say a larger fear earlier than normal in the establishment that doesn't want Donald Trump. He's surging, Nick. At the same time, Donald Trump is losing, and it's for different reasons. You get what I'm saying? It's not like he's surging and Biden is going under because of Hunter Biden. No, Donald Trump is surging for a completely different reason. He's not surging because of Palestine. He's not surging because of the economy's terrible. Those are the reasons why Biden is going down, though. So it's a completely two different reasons. So I'm basically saying in order to solve it, they have to bring Trump down, which means you have to attack those issues that are bringing him up. Then you have to attack separate issues. It's usually the same issue. So they got their work cut out for them, basically. And you can see it in these numbers. And the reason I paused here, I'm going to play the rest of the segment, and then I'm going to go back and show some of these polls and kind of comment on them. Wait till you see what Mika's reaction out of all of these.
CJ. Yeah, CJ, bro. They are about to be unbearable this next year, fam. Like, because they're 10 months out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like for most of this year, they just like was beta testing attacks. You know what I mean? They'll float a talking point out there, see what stick. You know, they're like pre-gaming. You know, trying to see what works, what don't work, and not high urgency. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but that's my analysis. What I've been saying, not high urgency. Trying to see what they can use, take them down. Let's throw Nick Haley out there. Let's throw Chris Christie out here. Let's throw some stuff at him. But now that you have these polls, now Iowa is a few weeks away. Now they cranked it up into overtime. That's why you're seeing all these stories about you have these political analysis over the dangers of a Trump second term because the realization hit for these people that it's coming. It's coming. So now they they all have the talking point. The same way I'm going to cover later how all the Mossad agents got the call. That's why they're all pushing this anti-Semitism bullshit. The same way that all the hidden Mossad agents got the call recently, you have all the Trump derangement people that like, you need write an op-ed in LA Times, write an op-ed in Washington Post about how Trump is a danger to the rule of law because he's going to go after his political enemies. You know, the same thing that we are doing.
Yeah. I don't care. Every time I hear that, my response is like workers care about you guys putting each other in jail. Let's bring in Rome before I continue.
CJ, they like Trump want to prosecute his political enemies. I'm like, man, you guys trying to talk dirty to me now? Like,
don't threaten me with a good time. What's up, Rome?
What's going on? What's going on,
sir? Just laughing at this establishment. But any sort of introductory words you want to say before we get back into the segment?
No, I'm here to shit.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Yeah, it's all good. I like to call these like the Founders Roundtable when we had.
Yeah, I like that. I like that name.
That's why actually like we'll join. It'd be great. It's good to have us 3 years. It's always good to have you when you're able to make it. You guys know the work that Rome is doing, so it's always good when we're able to hear from you. So this is like the Founders Roundtable. That's my unofficial name for it. Go ahead, CJ. I'll pass to you. Let's continue.
Yeah, so we're going to start from the end, and then I'll rewind it a little bit to go over some of the specific polls to point out some things of how this guy's going to lose. Like, it's clear that this guy's going to lose. It's clear as day. And it's like the guy with dementia. You're walking down the street, and you can see a pothole, and you're like, hey, man, let's move. And the guy with dementia think he knows what he's doing and going to walk directly into the pothole, and you're just looking like this, while we're laughing in the corner, but that's another story. Let's continue right here.
In other words, this is about electability and Republicans' perception of it here. We've talked so much in 2023 about Donald Trump's trials. We will continue to talk about it in 2024. But we asked folks, can Donald Trump win the election regardless of his legal challenges? Now, nearly 3 out of 4 Republicans in Iowa say yes. Last month,
they thought that was going to work.
Devastating. That was devastating right there. Go ahead, Nick.
They thought that shit was going to work, bro. Like, they was cooking that for such a long time this year. The legal battles with Trump, like that was gonna work. And now when they got reported this, it hurts their soul. But go ahead, Roman.
I just think it's funny. My bad. You can go ahead, CJ. You can go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Nick, how would you? Because I would describe this as a kidney punch. In MMA fighting, there's a move. There's a couple of moves, maybe a handful of moves where it's like, oh shit, you don't want that one. What would you do if this was a move? Like, if you could put into words MMA language, what move would this be?
I remember when Conor McGregor fought Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the biggest fights in recent history. Conor McGregor was known for having a very powerful left hand because he's a southpaw. The problem with that is Khabib is a very powerful wrestler who know how to slip and dodge a punch. He completely neutralized what people viewed as Conor McGregor's most powerful weapon. Not only did he neutralize it, he landed overhand right on his own. So the reason why I use that analogy was because the legal battles and the prosecutions against Trump was the Democrats' left hand. So they didn't win against Trump, thought they was going to land that left hand. All of a sudden, Trump completely neutralized it the way Khabib neutralized Conor McGregor. That's the best. That's
actually a great analogy, because what Trump did, and I think this is what makes him a lot appealing to some black people. What Trump did is what black people do to white supremacy. We take whatever you call us, like nigga, and we flip that shit. We take, this is the whole reason why the word bad is seen as good. Like when you talk about a girl, oh, she bad. That is completely because of slavery.
Fat, bad.
That's a bad slave. The one that's being rebellious, he's bad. The slaves look at him as good. So bad becomes a dual meaning for us. And this is what Trump did. Oh, you want to give me 91 charges? Put my mugshot on a shirt and let me sell 1 million of those shits. Raise money right here. You know what I'm saying? He's flipping what you calling him. Oh, you want to say 91 charges? Okay, I'm a martyr. He's a martyr now. He's freaking Tupac G right now to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, like what the black community feels like you going after black people unnecessarily. Not necessarily that they didn't commit the crime. Is that there's a bunch of people over there doing the same shit, but somehow you over here only. And this is what's giving him that sort of martyr, even if it's unwarranted, because of course everybody here at RBN can, put holes in that scenario, but it doesn't seem like the Democratic establishment know what the fuck they're doing. If they brought in some gangsters, some pimps, some Crips, and some Bloods into the shit, they would know how to attack this shit, because they just don't know what to do here. But listen to Mika's reaction. I said all that to wind up to this. Listen to Mika's reaction to all of this polling here.
That number wasn't even 2 out of 3. Big jump there for Trump. We also said, hey, are Trump's legal challenges too much? They make it nearly impossible for him to win. 24% saying that. Again, that number was over 30 last month. So all sorts of signs in this poll, Mika, showing that Donald Trump over the last 6 weeks in Iowa has actually improved his position. And the last time we were this close to the caucuses, again, just about a month away, that a Republican candidate had a lead anywhere near this size, you got to go all the way back to George W. Bush. The year was 2000. Bush won the caucuses. Bush won the nomination.
Did you see her initial face? Man, that was hilarious. But she's going to try to push back right here. And then he's going to say, no, Mika, no. And just listen to this.
NBC's Steve Kornacki, thank you very much for bringing those numbers just as they break this morning. We appreciate it. Elise Jordan, given Given
look
the rights
at her.
of women,
Look at. You hear the silence in that studio? Like they didn't read these numbers ahead of time. It is that shocking to them because it's like studying real hard for 3 months, feeling good about what you did, and then getting your report card with F's. It's like, what?
They're mad because their propaganda don't work. And one of the reasons why their propaganda don't work is because nobody watches it. The people who do watch it is already on your side. You're not going to have anybody tune. You're not going to have Trump supporters tune in. You're not going to have communists or leftists tune in to no goddamn Morning Joe. We on TikTok and Twitter and all that.
Facts.
You know, so all that. Even I didn't even really watch the indictments or anything about it because I didn't really give two fucks about it. And they was here pushing this propaganda saying, "Oh, he's gonna go to jail. He's gonna go to jail." No, the fuck he isn't. Even if he do. All y'all gonna do is make this man, y'all gonna make him like you just said, bigger than what he really is, And now they didn't got his people so ramped up. I didn't see never Trumper people coming back to Trump. No, it's crazy.
That's true, especially the elected ones. Now remember this lady that's on the screen. She's from the Bush Cheney White House. So just understand that's going to be her perspective. But let's listen. This is very shocking to them.
Caucuses, Bush won the nomination.
NBC's Steve Kornacki, thank you very much for bringing those numbers just as they break this morning. We appreciate it. Elise Jordan, given the rights of women or the lack thereof in this country right now due to the moves made by Donald Trump, Leonard Leo, and his cronies, what do you make of these numbers? What is going on? And I understand this is Iowa we're talking about, but still, look at what's happening. And you look
how devastated she is. You see how devastated she is? Now, I don't know if she's devastated because their propaganda isn't working more, or that Donald Trump is going to win. I almost feel like your parents are the ones that's watching this show. You get what I'm saying? Morning Joe has donors, has elected leaders watching, and they're having to face the people who they are working for and their singular task, which is to trick people in numbers like this to their advantage. And they're seeing the numbers at the same time as their parents, and they're like, I don't even know. I don't know what to say about this because I thought I did well. But what is very curious to me, and I'll bring Nick in for your comment to this question, is I don't understand. They see these numbers, Nick, and then they just continue to do the same thing. Like, how do you address that particular point of them not pivoting to if they really want to do that, if they really don't want him to win, why aren't they pivoting to a different plan that would get results? Go ahead.
You guys notice at no point during this segment do they ask themselves, damn, these numbers and Trump is doing so well. What can Biden do for the working class to turn it around? It's never that. It's how can we scare people into voting against their interests? And what you're going to hear next, guys, I actually seen this segment while I was doing some tutorials this morning where Mika Brzezinski gives probably the dumbest political analysis you're going to hear this week. Because remember, look at the numbers there. They're talking about the Republican primary. So then Mika's like, how can Trump be ahead because based on his views on abortion? I'm like, when I watched this, I'm like, Mika, you're talking about the Republican primary, you moron. Why are you talking about abortion as if abortion's going to hurt Trump in a primary where you guys mentioned in the same segment 2/3 of the Iowa primary GOP voters are evangelical? And I'll pass you, CJ, so you can continue the video because you're going to see Mika talking about abortion. She gonna be, they only know what to say. So like, abortion, why can anyone support Republicans despite abortion rights? Ignoring the fact that they're in the Republican primary, showing you the high quality political analysis you get on the corporate channels like MSNBC. So, CJ, you can keep playing because you're going to hear what I'm talking about here very soon.
Yeah. And to sort of comment on what you're saying right there, to sort of, based on what you're saying, the way they do this segment, this is an example, before they got to this story, they were covering a Texas abortion case. And what they're starting to do, because usually they'll go commercial, do a full segment on one subject, then go to commercial. What they're doing now is commercial. They'll do a story that is opposite to good news of Trump. So if they know they're going to do a Trump poll that's good, they'll do a story right before it or right after it without cutting. Like, they don't even go like, okay, next story. They just literally finish the sentence of that story, and then they begin talking about a completely different story. And then the ticker at the bottom changes. They did it for this one too. If I have time, I'll go back. But let's listen to what she says here. Let me know where you want to stop.
This is a block of very conservative, primarily evangelical voters who dominate the caucuses. And so for Donald Trump, what he did with the Supreme Court and the judges he appointed benefits him in Iowa. It's not until you get to other states, and particularly New Hampshire is going to be more interesting, where you see where voters are more libertarian and they don't like the idea of doctors being able to not dictate the life-saving measures needed to perform medical care to patients, because this is a debate about health care at the end of
right. Which
they're not. Wait till New Hampshire. Listen to what they're saying. This, and I remember I listened to that. I'm like, bro, this is the dumbest political analysis you're gonna hear. They're like, wait until the New Hampshire Republican primary, then people will care about abortion. What? And by the way, who is the pro-choice candidate? Nikki Haley was supporting the Ron DeSantis. They was fighting from the right, because you had Ron DeSantis that was attacking Nikki Haley for being weak. And then she's like, no, you're actually weak. I actually support the harsh abortion law. So who is the pro-choice candidate they are advocating for? But let's continue, because it only get dumber, because Mika's going to double down on this commentary, pretending that abortion is somehow fucking relevant in a GOP fucking primary.
End of the day, and about personal liberty and personal freedom. And you're going to see that in the granite state come more to play and potentially be a little bit more of a factor.
Yeah, as Steve noted, it's remarkable Trump's surge in popularity among evangelicals who were pretty skeptical of him back in 2016, and now he's never been more popular with them. So John Howman, yes, New Hampshire could be a little different. It's a different electorate than we see in Iowa. That's where I think the Haley camp thinks they'll fare better. We know Chris Christie has his long shot hopes pinned to New Hampshire as well. But as we look at these numbers, 51 to 19, in a state that Trump previously didn't do all that well, are we kidding ourselves to think this is even a race at all? This is just simply a foregone conclusion that Donald Trump will be the nominee.
Who's we?
I mean, I think it's been over.
Now all of them are going to be saying, no, we said this was over. You notice that they're trying to already starting. I already thought it.
He's like, man, have we been goofs this entire time covering this and pretending this is a race? Because remember, these people pretend that Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley has a better chance than RFK, who posed better than both of them. So now they do not realize how deeply unserious their show has been for quite some time. Let's continue.
Yeah, we got to get to the Mika part, then we could probably end this.
For months.
Yeah, you and I aren't in a different place about this. We want to. It's democracy, right? We want to let these things play out. We have to suspend.
That went in the Democrat Party.
Voters vote. See these numbers. Voters vote, and things can change. But it's not like we're sitting here. It's the date, I believe, is December something. I get lost track of that completely. But we're in December now. The Iowa caucuses are a month away. It's not early still. You can't make the argument it's early. There's a lot of yardage on the field. None of that's true. We're not just in the fourth quarter here, but we're getting close to the 2-minute warning in political terms. And there's not a sign anywhere. Again, you hear people occasionally say, well, things are tightening here, tightening there. Nikki Haley's got momentum here or there. Nikki Haley's got some momentum in New Hampshire versus Ron DeSantis. Donald Trump's lead over the field is vast, and in some cases growing.
They are devastated. Like, just the mood of this whole is just such a downer. This whole conversation, they don't know what to say. Like tomorrow, like, what are they going to talk about tomorrow on Morning Joe? Trump, what? You're going to talk about his 91 counts about a court case? Why? Like, nobody cares. You just saw the poll said 73% of the people in Iowa said, even if he's convicted, they're still going to vote for him.
And now you got the kids, you got the young voters saying, we're not voting for none of these people. So you have lost a good chunk of your base that was young, still had many years to vote Democrat. You lost them, and now you're getting Trump base ramped up. This is a lose-lose for Democrats, and all they got to do is say something about abortion rights, something about women's rights. Just say something right now, and you will probably get some people back. Not all of them, but you will probably get some people back. But will they do it? No. So I don't know why they keep bringing up abortion like Joe Biden isn't the president right now. What the hell is they talking? Where's they going with this? I don't get it.
His team have been most worried about. Yes. They have been spending their time. I've been spending a lot of time there. He's been in Iowa more than he's been in any other state. They've been spending money there. He's doing rallies there, and apparently it's having some effect because Trump we've just seen him get stronger in this state rather than weaker. And the number that Steve pointed to, that Ann Seltzer's poll shows, this number that shows that the numbers are that the closer we get to Trump's trial date in Washington D.C. in the insurrection case, the closer we get to that, the electability argument is fading in the Republican Party. It's not like people are waking up and going, "Hey, wow, Donald Trump's about to sit in front of a jury," and Chris Christie says he's going to be convicted. Well, maybe he is going to be, but I'll tell you, Republican voters right now, the number that think that this is not an issue, that it will not stop him from winning a general election against Joe Biden, is getting smaller rather than larger.
So, and Republican voters who may be in the hospital right now or have a wife in the hospital right now with a non-viable pregnancy that might.
What did she change? Is she changing subjects? What is she just started talking about abortion? Where did this come from, Nick? Oh no, this is what you're talking about. This is insane, Nick, because okay, let me just play it. Yeah, this is because I was shocked. Maybe I don't know how I missed this little transition right here. Let me watch it again. I rewinded 10 seconds.
Stop him from winning a general election against Joe Biden is getting smaller rather than larger.
So, and Republican voters who may be in the hospital right now or have a wife in the hospital right now with a non-viable pregnancy that might kill her. Joyce Vance, I'll bring it back to this. I don't understand how they could.
This is all you get is gaslighting and finger pointing.
The state of affairs right now in Texas. I'm curious.
You see how she
implications of
I didn't
the Kate
see this part. I didn't watch it all the way to here.
You see how she bring up abortion
right there.
And look at the super specific example she gave, right? And these people we have sympathy for, but she's like, imagine if your wife is someone in the hospital that's about to die in the hospital about to give birth. And I'm like, bro, that's a very tragic situation, but that seems like a very small amount of electorate, doesn't it? How specific? How many people are in this situation? We getting 50 votes out of this? Like, see, they go back to that part. That's a very
that's funny.
Very specific base she is talking about. Imagine if you're in the hospital, and you're Republican, you're gonna support this. Like, yes, the Republican Party support this. And the funny thing is, Mika and these liberals pretend that like white women are like resisting this. White women voted for this.
Yeah.
White women voted for Trump twice. Meanwhile, they're pretending, man, there's an army of white women ready to defeat Trump. No, there's not. No, there's not. You know who defeated Trump? People of color, black women, brown women. You know, the same women who's now not going to support Joe Biden because he funded the genocide in Israel. Then maybe that's kind of a problem, isn't it? So now you guys lost the brown women. You guys lost the black women because we guys do it in Gaza. And you guys going to lose the white women vote because they're all for restriction abortion.